It will all be good. Good
Fingers
evening,
crossed.
everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm here with Annette Jackson from Annette's Reiki and Readings, and we've been having a few technical problems. We keep freezing, so we're hoping that tonight it's going to go smoothly now and that Spirit will give us a lovely space to work.
Yeah, fingers crossed, Spirit.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us tonight, Annette. So
well,
can you start off by
me.
introducing yourself to everybody and telling them a little bit about what you do?
Okay, so hi everyone, my name's Annette. I'm based in Manchester. I'm a Reiki therapist, a Reiki Master, and also a spiritual medium as well. I've been on my journey for about 5 to 6 years now, doing Is it back on?
Oh, there you are. Oh,
that's it, we're back on.
We're back on. Okay, so we got what I could hear where I got to with you was Reiki Master, and then it all cut out. So you might as well start again.
Right, I will. So I work as a Reiki Master and a spiritual medium, which is connecting people with their loved ones in the spirit world and sharing that love and the energy with them, and also healing as well. I do both. That's very important for me and feels right for me. So I do work in both aspects with the healing and the communication from the spirit world.
Fantastic. So how did you start on your journey? Would you say that there was a calling? How did you get to where you've got to?
Yeah, I would definitely say there was a calling, which I ignored for quite a long time.
As you do.
Yeah, definitely. From being aware of spirit from when I was little and seeing spirit, it did frighten me a lot. So I kind of closed off from it and didn't want to go into it further because it frightened me, and life took over. Having my children, things like that, it was almost like my human life took over. And the first calling really I had was to go and have a Reiki treatment. And it kept popping up on Facebook about Reiki. The word Reiki, I didn't know what the word was, but it was calling me very, very strongly. So I went for a Reiki treatment. Didn't know, this was about 6 years ago, didn't know anything about crystals or angels or what Reiki was, but just knew I needed to go. And that was very much the beginning. From having that treatment, I needed to learn more about Reiki. I had the calling to go and learn it, which I did quite quickly after having the treatment. Again, didn't know why I was going to it, just felt really strong feeling that I had to do it. And it's the first time in my life where I felt it that strongly and I've listened and I've gone to do it. And it's kind of all followed from that, from doing my Reiki and learning how to heal myself. To work with my son as well has been very important for me. My son has autism, so he became my guinea pig for working with Reiki and found massive benefits from that, which I've loved. And it's been learning since then and continuing to learn with my journey. There's been some interesting moments.
It never stops, does it? It never stops.
It's very true.
Now, I know because obviously we're connected on Facebook, but I've seen some of the work that you do with autism and Reiki. That's been a massive part of what you've been offering to people and helping people. And I'm right in thinking, aren't I, that you've actually taught people Reiki who are parents of children with autism purely for them helping their children.
I have, and that's something that I'm quite passionate about. So the parents can do the Reiki when it's needed, for them moments when it's maybe like you're getting your child in the car and they're having a meltdown, or at bath time at 3 o'clock in the morning, whenever it is, when that child needs the calm energy, that the parents can do it for the child that's closest to them, so the child will be more likely to allow the healing to happen, but also for the parents as well, because often we pick up anxiety and we have stressful times. And I think it was through going through the diagnosis process and finding myself in a bit of a hole with depression and not knowing who I was and really struggling emotionally and hiding it from everybody because I didn't want to appear like I was struggling as a mum. That's what led me to going for my Reiki treatment, because I'd lost who I was. And I know now I was meant to go for that treatment, and it kept popping up on Facebook. So it was like a big call, and it was flashing lights for me.
Oh, amazing. That's lovely. Fantastic. So obviously you've talked about how your healing journey's evolved. How has your mediumship journey evolved?
Okay.
How did you get involved in that?
I would say they've gone quite hand in hand, my Reiki and my mediumship. I did think I was a bit weird when I started doing my Reiki, because I would feel spirit pop in. So I would have someone lay on the bed, I would have my hands on the head, I would have my eyes closed, and I was aware of the spirit world drawing close. And I would feel them within my energy. And I always joke about this because I would keep the hands over the eyes because I was really nervous that I would think I was weird. And I would say things like, do you understand your granddad in spirit? Did he have this? Did he have a heart issue? Do you understand this name? Maybe John? And then they'd be surprised that it was right. And it kind of built up where when I would do Reiki, the spirit world would come in. So I know they have the plan. So it's ran hand in hand. And a lot of people, mediums, advised me at the time, looking back like 5 years ago, to focus on one or the other. They said either be a medium or be a healer. But for me, they both go hand in hand. It was like I wanted to do both. So they do kind of cross over very closely.
Well, I think mediumship is about healing. It's
most
about,
definitely.
Yeah, getting through your grief and knowing your loved ones are still around, and that hope and that love. Healing is love. So
yeah,
I'm on your camp with that.
Yeah, now I know more. I understand, and I'm glad that I followed both tracks at the same time.
Yeah, I think that is a common thing that's said to people when they're starting out, that they have to choose. And I know that can cause quite upset for people if they're drawn in many directions.
Because I was told that a lot, because I know at the very much beginning I would seek guidance from other people to tell me kind of what was right, rather than understand to listen to my guides or to listen to spirit for myself or trust my intuition. I would trust another medium over myself. Whereas at the stage I'm at now, and I'm quite grateful, I would trust what feels right. And I think that's a good stage to get to.
So do I.
Yeah.
You always know better than somebody else.
Although
for
sometimes
yourself.
it's hard to trust. But I get there in the end after the guides have called me lots of times to do the same thing. And it's repeated and repeated, and then I know I've got to do it.
Yeah, if you ever work out how to do it on the first go, could you let me know?
Because I will. I think I'm about the 99th go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can you tell us the story of one of the most profound experiences that you've had? What's happened? And
okay, let me have a think. I think my grandma in the spirit world is an amazing experience that I've had in how she's helped my journey spiritually, from the beginning of me opening up to going through the experience of having my Reiki and then feeling drawn to go to Spiritualist Church. Every single time I went, every single time she came through with the message of that you're open to spirit, you can do this. She was very dominant. When the medium told me, I would look behind me to see who was behind, and the medium was like, no, I'm talking to you. And it really shocked me. So in terms of my grandma, she's been, for me, the person who's helped me the most. And times where I thought she won't come through, she always has. And just the other day, she brought me a lovely message again, very personal, and she's very straightforward. And I always say she gives me a kick at the bum, my grandma.
Springing into action.
Yeah.
Amazing.
She helps me a lot.
So I know that now you do teaching and you help people connect to spirit as well. So how's your work progressed? What drew you into teaching?
I'll be honest, sometimes I do have issues with my confidence with teaching, but my guides have always told me just to trust. When I was feeling drawn to do my Reiki teaching, I know a lot of mediums do struggle sometimes with confidence or with trust. And I think that's quite a common thing. And I'm happy to be open about that, rather than just saying, yeah, I'm great and I'm confident all the time. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I get frightened and scared before I do something. And I think that's totally fine. And just going forward and doing it, because then we learn also. Which bit was I going to talk about then with the Reiki? It's just gone out of my mind now what I was going to tell you about. That was it, about keeping it really, really simple. So teach from the heart is some guidance my guide gave me before doing my Reiki training. And I kind of thought, right, okay, I'll do that. I'll teach from my heart and teach what I can. And I love teaching now. And just last week I did a session called Sitting with Spirit, and it was just about sitting in the energy and allowing the simplicity of spirit's energy to come around. And what I loved was everybody that joined all had a connection with the spirit world. They all felt it. A lady felt her dad for the first time really, really strongly. Another gentleman felt his granddad that he'd never felt before. And it embraced to them and confirmed to them that they can have that connection whenever they want, that it's not just mediums or gifted people that can connect with spirit. We can all have that connection. And I think during this lockdown situation as well, with so many people struggling, that's an important message to share. And I know that you've been doing the same as well.
I have. I mean, that's part of the reason, as I was saying to you before we came live, why I'm doing these interviews, because I do think you're special, Annette. And I do think I'm special.
Especially,
but
yeah.
I don't
Everybody.
think we're that special. I do think that, it is something that's available to everybody. It's so important that people are aware that it's not just something bestowed upon the chosen ones.
Yeah,
although
I
I'm sure
strongly think that.
yes, although I'm sure we're chosen for lots of other wonderful
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, it's something I always say, that we can all connect to our loved ones. You know, somebody comes for a reading and say the granddad connects. He's not just connected because they've come to see me, he's there all the time whenever they need them. And I always say to people, talk to them, invite them into your space, ask for the signs, ask them to be close, because everybody can have that connection with the spirit world.
Exactly. They're always there, you know, as if
Yeah.
if you were to pass tomorrow, you know, there's nothing that would stop you being around your family
Exactly, it's
and
so
watching
true.
them.
Yeah,
So important.
definitely.
So I know that you also do platform demonstrations. Is that in churches?
It is, yeah, churches and centres.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
And, you know, and so you're used to standing in front of a crowd and delivering messages
I'm
as well?
getting used to it, I would say. Last year, so just for about for a year now since I've started. I did do a few before then, but not many, but it was like one role to the next. So last year I did about 30 different platform demonstrations, and again the nerves kick in, and what's really refreshing is hearing other people say it's the same for them. And that made me feel a bit better, because I thought it was just me. I was the only one going up there and my knees were shaking and I was feeling nervous and I would sweat a bit and think, oh gosh, what if spirit don't go through, and get my head in a bit of a tiz before the service. And then once you're up there, it's fine and it flows. It's the before bit. I would sometimes let my own mind get involved. My first service that I did about a week before, I was waking up thinking, oh, 7 days to go, 6 days to go, counting down mentally. And then on the day I was like, oh, it's here, really freaking out. But I'm getting better now at calming my mind down and just allowing the demonstrations to flow, which is a bit of a strange one now that we're not having any demonstrations. And something that I found really interesting, I've joined quite a few online demonstrations with the SNU and centres, and they're busier than ever. They've had like 150 on some of them, which you would never get in a church. Usually I've had from like 5 to maybe 30 or 50 in a church or a centre, never usually like 150.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. More people are seeking that, so it may be busier afterwards, possibly.
Exactly.
Well.
And hopefully this time is opening people up to the love of the spirit world, because they've got a bit of time to create that space for it in their lives. So fingers crossed. And I mean, I remember asking at Arthur Findlay College, you know, I was holding myself back from demonstrating because I thought that when I was ready to demonstrate, the fears wouldn't be there. It wouldn't be so debilitating beforehand. I wouldn't feel sick. I wouldn't be shaking, and my voice wouldn't sound like a goat. And I remember one of the teachers saying, well, we're all still scared. So what makes you special? And me going, oh.
Yeah,
and
when you realise that, it makes it a bit better, doesn't it?
It does.
Like we're all in the same boat.
Exactly. And it's not me that's effective and a quivering wreck in the corner, you know.
Yeah, I think I'd have to wait my lifetime for me not to be a little bit fearful or a bit frightened, because I always find it quite interesting. A lot of mediums are very sensitive and shy, so to get up in front of a room full of people at the front and to talk is massively out of your comfort zone. But the spirit world helped with it massively, which amazes me each and every time. It's almost sometimes I forget that I'm there, or I forget that I'm doing it, and then I'll drive home and think, oh gosh, what happened there then? Try and recall like, who I read for or what happened. It's interesting, isn't it?
What's your favourite part of your work?
Okay, my favourite part, I would say that every day is different, and each person that you connect with is really different, because I'm someone who gets bored quite easily, I'll be honest, and I'll do 2 or 3 things at the same time. So like each reading is different, and a different person to connect with here and a different person to connect with spiritually, and the difference in how it changes each and every day. I love that, how it's not the same. I would say that.
Completely. I completely understand that. Even every Reiki you do is different, isn't it?
It's complete. And I love that, and especially when people come for Reiki treatments, like every couple of months or so, how often they come, how it's different every time for them as well. And I love having that chat afterwards of what we've experienced and what we've seen, and having that connection.
Amazing. Okay, so if you could go back in time to when you first started your journey, what advice would you give yourself?
Okay, I would definitely tell myself to trust myself more, to trust my intuition, to trust what my thoughts and feelings are. When thoughts are repeated, to trust that it's spirit and not just my own thoughts, and not dismiss it so easily. And I would also say to write things down as well, because often our minds are very busy with thoughts and ideas and inspired ideas about things, maybe like workshops or where we should go or what we should be doing. And and they will keep repeating and repeating kind of until we do it. I know you're probably the same. So if we write them down, it's almost like we have the plan there rather than just the plan in our mind, and your mind can get very busy and overwhelmed with all the thoughts and ideas that spirit world wants us to push forwards with.
I remember being told to write stuff down in like week 3 of the development circle I joined.
Yeah.
I never did it, and now I feel almost shamefaced when I think about all the wonderful information and insight and stuff that spirit shared with me that's gone.
Yeah, because I forget really easily as well, so my guides have to repeat and repeat if I don't write it down or act on it.
Exactly. In and gone.
I'm really forgetful.
Yeah, I think because you train your mind when you work mediumistically to not get in the way. So the more mediumship I've done, the less I can cope with remembering a shopping list.
Isn't that funny? I agree with that. It's like some things I just don't remember at all.
It's the training.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? What's your plan for yourself and your development?
What's next for me? I would say more of the same, definitely. More teaching, but keeping it really simple with the healing and with the mediumship. A lot of people really struggle with what's there for and what is spirit's for, and distinguishing between the two. And I think it's important to share that trust with people to build their confidence. As a medium myself, I'm always working at improving my own confidence and my own trust. And if I look back from 5 years ago to now, there has been a lot of change, and I know the spirit world have helped me with that. So I really understand and resonate with people where they struggle and they think, that's my fault, spirit out here, I'm making it all up, it's my imagination. And I love it when they have that, like the penny dropping moment, or when something happens, like the workshop I did the other day, and that kind of spirit buzz afterwards where they've really achieved something and they know that they can do it again. So I'd love to inspire more people on their journeys with their mediumship. Not necessarily whether they want to be a medium or to work with people mediumship wise, but for their own connection with the spirit world, to have that comfort that they need for when life can be a bit crappy, let's say, or they're having a bit of a bad day and they need a bit of a pick me up, because spirit are amazing at that to help us feel boosted and lifted. And it's something that we can all have, to talk to them and to feel it. It's just learning to tell the difference and to trust what those thoughts and feelings, emotions and senses are. That it's not just us.
I agree. And you know, it's always mind-blowing to me that, you know, when I first started, I expected when spirit came in that they would have a different voice than my own voice in my head. And, you know, actually it's so surprising that it's all this, because it's energy, it's all the same. So it's absolutely amazing. And I completely agree with you. Even if you don't necessarily want to work with spirit or become a medium or become a card reader or become a healer, it will change your life.
Most definitely.
Connection,
and sometimes it's very subtle, isn't it? I know each person in spirit is very different how they connect. Sometimes I can feel like they're straight in and they're chatting straight away, and it's almost like bang bang bang. Other times it's very subtle and I'm saying come on closer, and it's very very gentle and very very mild. And sometimes as a medium you can feel like you're pulling your teeth, you go come on more, I want you to come up closer and more, when you're trying to relay the message to the client and you're trying to connect with spirit at the same time. It can be a bit tricky at times, that. But it can be subtle.
It can be very very subtle, painfully so. Come in, do you want to talk or not?
You're very welcome, come closer.
So I know this is a massive question, but how has your work with spirit changed your life?
I would say massively. And that's a very honest statement. I'm not just saying that to kind of big it up or to make it greater than what it is. I think it's very important that we're honest and that people see us as a person as well, like as a mom, as a wife, just as an everyday person, as a friend. And spirit has changed my life massively. It's changed who I am, but in a very, very positive way. I can describe it as that I feel like I know who I am now, and I feel confident in who I am most of the time. I would say of who I am inside, I would say it kind of feel like my life makes more sense now. I know who I am, I know the reason why I'm sensitive, rather than if I look back like 6 years ago is when my journey like fully began. Before then I would class being sensitive as a negative thing, like being shy as a negative thing. I would think it meant that I wasn't strong, that I was quite weak, that I wasn't like other people. Why aren't I strong like that? Why do I struggle in a big room of people? Why do I feel other people's emotions? Why, when I go out with a group of people, do I come home and have really bad anxiety? Like, why do I feel all these things so strongly and feel tired after seeing people? in a big group, or if I go to the Trafford Centre, why is it too much? And I never understood the reason why that was. Whereas now I fully understand it. And I see that that my sensitivities help me with my work and help me to learn and help me to grow. And I love the learning journey that I'm on as well. I find it really exciting. I don't get bored anymore, I would say. When people talk about being bored, I would say if I look back maybe 10 years ago, yeah, I used to get bored a lot. I would want to go out a lot and do things, whereas now I'm quite happy at home. And I don't get bored because I would have a chat with spirit, I would do meditation. There's always like something to do to uplift your mind and not to have that boredom or that loneliness, I would say, as well. And always having somebody to talk to through the difficult times, like through depression or anxiety or tough times in our life. Always having, it's like having a support network, I would say. That's always there. And everybody can have that. And I look back and I know there's times in my life where I've really struggled, and I'm someone who doesn't necessarily find it easy to ask for help if I'm struggling. I'm a person just to kind of say, yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine, even when I'm not. But the spirit world helped me with that. And I know they always know emotionally when we're not okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you'll have the same. My granddad always knows if I'm not okay, if I'm a bit upset about something, or if I'm stressed or overthinking, that's when my granddad comes in to have that chat with me and calm me down and gets me back on my right track. And the emotional support is overwhelming. The love, yeah. And that support.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so final question here. What's something you wish that everybody knew about working with spirit?
Okay. I think I would say that everybody can have that connection with their loved one, that everybody can talk to them, that everybody can feel them, everybody can sense them. You don't have to go to, say, the cemetery or the graveyard to talk to them. It's beautiful to go and send flowers, or to go on their birthday or your birthday, to go and do that, to connect. But you don't have to. You can do it whilst you're sat at home. You can do it whilst you're walking up, whilst you're driving your car. It's all day, every day. That strength and support from the spirit world is there. And I know at the moment a lot of people in the lockdown are having a really difficult time emotionally, and I feel like the spirit world are wanting to reach out more to more people, to bring that comfort, to bring that love, to bring the upliftment, because it's very, very challenging. And I know this, I'm grateful for the spirit world during this lockdown. I know it's part of what's helped me stay positive, and being able to work in the energy is helping me stay uplifted. But we can all do that. We can all sit and talk to our loved ones and feel that love and the healing energy that they bring forwards as well, in different ways, for emotional healing or physical healing, for whatever we need, they assist with it, which I find beautiful.
Yeah, I always think it's like having your own team of cheerleaders.
It really is.
Yeah, who never judge you, who never get cross with you, who are just there loving you and making you try and love yourself a bit more.
Yeah, that's a really good way to describe it. A group of cheerleaders.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, my grandma's at the front kicking me up the backside. That's
yeah, exactly.
Kind of cheerleading me on.
Sometimes cheering, sometimes shoving.
Yeah, definitely. Give me a good old kick. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much for taking the time, because I know you've been mega busy in lockdown, but I just, as soon as I decided to start doing this, you popped into my head from all those years ago when we met at college as beginners. And
when we were like the naughty girls giggling.
Yeah, we were. We really were.
I loved it. We were. It was like being back at school, wasn't it?
It was a little. That's the joy of it.
Well, that's what I was thinking. But our spirit love that laughter and upliftment. It doesn't all have to be serious, does it? They love the laughter.
That's something I think as well that I wish people knew about working with spirit. It's not like reading from the Bible or really
doesn't have to be all straight laced, does it?
Yeah, they laugh. I mean, and I think you'll understand this, you know, when you get people in, they're the same as they were in life.
Yeah, I always say that.
Yeah, because they've passed doesn't mean that they've lost their quirky personality or their sense of humour. And I think spirit guides are the same.
Yeah, you know? And I love the laughter and that lifting the vibration, and I
be a bit silly.
Right. Yeah.
Be a bit naughty. Yeah.
I think it's a hazard of the job, that one.
Yeah, so do I. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much, Hannah.
So nice to catch up. And I hope that everybody who's watched this, because we can't see your comments, has enjoyed it, and catch up with you again soon.
Yeah, thank you very much, Hannah.
Thank
I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.